Today we will be looking at how to start a new drawing in AutoCAD, and to do this we first go to the icon in the top left and we click on it. Then we go to New, select the AutoCAD template and click on Open. And this is a new drawing based on that template. Now we want to change the background color to white. So right click and go to Options, then to Display, then Colors, and on the top right select white. Click Apply and OK. To set our drawing units, we must type in the unit command. So type in units in the command line here. A window will appear. Set the precision to 0 and set the units to millimeters. Click OK. Now tap F12 to disable the tooltips and write in the title in the command line here the command limits. Once you type in this command, type in the first coordinate to be 0, 0 and enter, and the second coordinate will be 420, 297 and enter. Now you set the limits, and to see that you have set the limits we need to type in the command GRIDDISPLAY. Set the value to 2 and zoom all, so Z enter, A enter, and now you can see that you have the drawing area where you have the grid lines, and outside of the grid lines you have the area that is restricted from drawing. Now type in the command line DYNPICOORDS and set that to 1. Now we are ready to draw an outline. So give the command line, enter. The first coordinate will be 0, 0, enter, and notice that the mouse has already placed, the computer has already placed one point, has fixed the one point of the line, and it is waiting to fix the other end of the line. So give the next coordinate to be 420, 0 and enter. The next point will be 420, 297 and enter. The next point will be 0, 297. And the last point will be 0, 0 and hit enter twice so that you finish the command, and hit F7 to disable the grid, because you now have an outline of your work area and you do not need the grid anymore. The software allows very high precision. So if I want to draw a rectangle that is 100 millimeters by 60 millimeters, I have to know where I want to draw it as with respect to the origin point here. So if I want to start my drawing from 50 millimeters to the right and 50 to the top, I have to give it the initial point of coordinates 50 and comma 50. So I'll write the line command and enter, give it the initial coordinate 50 comma 50, then enter, and it fixed the first point. Now if I want to draw a 100 millimeter line like that, I have to figure out the coordinate. The single thing that changes is the x coordinate. So it will be 150 comma 50. Now it fixed the second point. This is a 100 millimeter line. Now I want to go upward of 50 millimeters. So I have to change the y coordinate. So it will be 150 and 100. Then enter. To return, I'll have to figure out the coordinate of the next point, which will be 50 for the x and 100 for the y. And enter. And the last point will be my initial coordinate, so it will be 50 comma 50. And enter. And then tap enter again to finish the command. And now I drew a rectangle which is 100 over 50, and the initial corner point is at 50 by 50 from the origin point. And this is called working with absolute coordinates. Now let's start working with another type of coordinates. We can start by giving the line command, and the initial point I want it to be somewhere here, so it will be like 200 and the y will be 50. And enter. And I set my first point. Now I want to draw a straight horizontal line which is 100 millimeters. Instead of calculating the coordinates for the next point, I'll type in the @ symbol, then 100 and then 0. This means that consider now, so I'm telling the software, consider now that the last given point is your reference and create a 100 millimeter line from that point. So consider that point to be the temporary origin. When I tap enter, it will create that point for me. So if I write the @ symbol in front, then it will no longer consider this to be the origin, but it will temporarily consider the last given point. So now that this is my last given point, I want to go up 20 millimeters. I will write the @ symbol, 0 for x and 20 for y. And tap enter. Now I want to go back 80 millimeters. In order to do that, in order to go back, since I no longer want to use the absolute coordinates and you want to use the relative coordinates, I have to type in a negative x value. So -8 80 comma 0, enter. That went to the left. Now towards the top I want to go like 30 millimeters, but I want to activate my ortho mode now. So I'll press F8. And this will limit my line to go either up or down or left or right. And I will no longer use coordinates but only lengths. So if this is 20, I want the same height, then I want a 30 millimeter line. Then go like that, 20. Notice I point my mouse wherever I want to go, and then 50 to finish off the drawing, and tap enter again to finish the command. Double tap the mouse wheel to zoom out and center. So these are called relative coordinates. There is one more coordinate type, and it's called polar. So I want to draw a triangle here with a length of 60 with a starting point at 320 by 50. So I'll give the line command and enter. Now I'll give the absolute coordinate to be 320, 50. Enter. And now I will disable my ortho command, my ortho mode, and I want to go up by 60 but at an angle of 60 from the horizontal. So I'll have to type in here the @ symbol to reference this point. Then I'll have to type in the length to be 60, then the less than sign, and then the angle, which will be 60 as well. And now enter. And as you can see, it created a line for me which is 60 millimeters in length and has a 60-degree angle as a reference of the horizontal here. Now to go like that, we have to consider that we have to do a 300-degree angle, because the angle is calculated from the horizontal level. So in this case the horizontal is here and I want to go like that. So this being a 60-degree angle, I want to go 90, 180 to 70 and another 30 to 300. So I'll type in the @ symbol, then 60 for the length, the less than sign, and then 300 for the angle. Then enter, and it created the second line for me at a 300-degree angle from the horizontal. Now all I have to do is go back. So I'll type in at -60, 0 to go back, and tap enter once more. So I finish the command. This is how to use polar coordinates. Now that we know about coordinates, let's talk a bit about object snapping. So object snapping is the process of the cursor being attached to different points of interest on an object. If I type in the line command and go near the corner of an object, it will automatically get attracted to that corner. So line and enter, and notice if I go here, I can click there and the starting point will be exactly on that corner point. I can also go somewhere near the line, and I'll be certain that if I see that symbol, that means that when I click, I'll click on the line. So if I click here and then click here and enter, I am certain that if I zoom in, this is always attached to that corner. But if I disable the OSNAP by hitting F3 on the keyboard. So it says snap off. Now if I type in the line command and enter, it will no longer snap to anything, okay? And if it doesn't snap, even though I'll go here and click, or rather here, try to click there and click here, even though it looks like it's where it should be, when I zoom in, I can see that those are not properly aligned. To control snapping, I have to type in the osnap command. And this is the snapping menu, which displays the snaps that are enabled. So the end point is enabled, the center of a circle is enabled, and if I click here on the midpoint, also the midpoint will be highlighted. So I'll click on OK. Nothing happens right now because I don't have any commands. So let me type in the line command and enter. And now when I go near the middle, oh, also I have to turn on the snap feature, F3 again. You can see it snaps to the middle and also snaps to the ends and the intersection here. So it snaps to almost everything. So this is why I usually keep this turned off, and I'll show you how to use it more efficiently. F3 to turn that off. Okay, it should say here ortho off. Okay. So to use this more efficiently, I will use a secondary command after I type in the line command. So first I'll type in the line command. And after typing in the line command and disabling the OSNAP, if I want to snap to the middle here, I have to type in MID for middle and enter. And now my cursor is only snapping to the middle. So I can click here, for example. Now, if I want to snap to the end of this line here, I have to type in the end command. And now it snaps to the ends of the lines. And click. And enter. So now I'm certain that this is in the middle and it snapped, and this is in the end point and it also snapped. I can also do this for intersections as well, and also for nearest points. So the nearest points are the ones on a line nearest to my cursor. So there are multiple kinds, and you can see them in the menu once you type in the OSNAP command. So let's do that. So as you can see, all of these have also commands that can be used to draw more efficiently. If you turn all of these on, it will be very hard for you to pinpoint the certain type of snap that you want. So basically you have to remember these and use them with this turned off. Let's draw a rectangle. Give the rectangle command. Click to choose a random point. If you want it to be precise, you can give the coordinates. And then type in the add symbol 50, 50. And actually it was like a square now. It's a square. And that is how you can create a square, or if you want an actual rectangle, you can give different coordinates to the second point so that it is more longer or taller. Arcs are a bit more challenging. To draw an arc, you give the arc command, and then you have to give 3 points. So let's begin with this point here. Then I have to select the center give the add symbol 50, 0, and then the last point we add symbol 50, 0 again. And this is how you draw an arc this way. If you want to draw it on the other way around, you repeat the arc command, then snap to this point, then you give the center point, so you have to select it. And now you select the angle. And you give the angle. So the angle will be opposite if you want to draw it like so. That means minus 180. And this is how you draw an arc. To finish the drawing, we can save it by going to the top left, clicking the save button. We can give it a name, exercise 1, and it will be saved with the extension DWG wherever we select our destination folder. Click save, and this is how you can save the file that you worked on. A name change will also be reflected in the tab bar, where you can see that from drawing 1 it got renamed to exercise 1. Now let's do a practice exercise, which is to draw this outline based on the dimensions and based on the starting point here and the starting point here. Give the line command, and the initial coordinate is 67, 50. Now we have to go to the right 87, so at 87, 0. Now we have to go at an angle, but not at this angle, but the other one, which is 48. So at 21 less than 48, we have to go up 20, so at 0, 20. Now we have to create this arc, so we tap enter once to finish the command line, and now we need an arc with a radius of 17. So we give the arc command, then the end command to snap to this. Now we have to type C for center and give the center coordinate as at 0 and 17, and the end point will be the same, at 0, 17, enter, and the arc is done with a radius of 17. Now we have to draw a horizontal line, which is 20. So line, and click at minus 20, 0, enter, and then we have to move upwards 15. So at 0, 15. And at this point we need to draw another arc, so we tap enter to end the line command, and we need an arc with a radius of 27, and which is on this opposite side of this one. So we type in the arc command, and the starting point is the end point of this line, then the next point is the center, C enter, the at 0, 27 for the center point, and now we want the angle, so A enter, and since we don't want it like so but on the other way, we say minus 180, enter, and it created the arc for us. Now we want a line which is inclined, so it's 70 millimeters, at an angle of 45 degrees from the horizontal, from the vertical, but we want it from the horizontal, so that gives us an angle of 135. So again, line and click at 70 less than 135. Then we want a straight horizontal line of 40 to the left at minus 40, comma 0. Then we want a line which is 50, but it's at an angle of 83 from the horizontal on the other way around. So that makes this angle 277. So at 50 less than 277. That is our line. And this line we don't actually know the length of. So we stop here, tapping the enter key. And now we have this line, which is 81. It's at an angle of 121 degrees. So start with that one, line from the end of this one here. And it's 81 at 81 less than 121. That is the line, and then we just close the outline by giving the end command and clicking here. Then tap enter on the keyboard. And so let's do the last part of the drawing, which is drawing the rectangle. Give the rectangle command 99, 99. Then the add symbol 30, 20, enter. This is the finished practice drawing. Given this part, draw the three main projection views from the front, from the side, and from the top. I have my practice file here, and it includes an empty space to work with, which is 210 by 297 millimeters. To be able to draw the projections, we have to first establish the overall dimensions of the part, and then we have to insert them into the equations for A and B. So the overall length is 100, the width is 40, and the height is also 40. I inserted them into the A equation so that I can get A is approximated to 25. And for the B equation, I also inserted the height and the width to get the B is approximated to 70. I want to draw my first rectangle here, which will be the front view, the projection of the front of the part. And to do that, I will use A as my X coordinate, and Y will be all of the height here minus a B. So that will mean that we'll have a Y of 227. So give the rectangle command, then give the coordinates 25 and 227. Now I will give the opposite corner point coordinate, and I will use relative coordinates. So it will be at 100, comma minus 40. And this is my rectangle for my front projection view, and it has 100 because the part has 100 millimeters. It has 40 because my part has a height of 40. For the next rectangle, which will be the top view, I have the dimensions of still 100 by 40, but I have my y coordinate to be, well, to get here I have 227 as my y coordinate, but I want to go much lower, so it will be minus 40 and minus 70, so that will be 117. So give the rectangle command and type in the coordinate 25 and 117. Now it's waiting for the opposite corner, which will be 100 millimeters in length and 40 in width, as my part is. So at 100, comma, minus 40. Now I only need one more rectangle, which will be the side projection view. We will use the same y coordinate as here, so 227, but the x coordinate will be 1a plus the length plus another a, so that makes it 150. So give the rectangle command and the first coordinate will be 150 and the next one will be 227. Enter. Now it's waiting for the opposite corner point. Since this is the side view, we have width and height, and the width and height are both equal to 40. So give the coordinate at 40, comma, minus 40. And enter, and this is the rectangle for the side projection view. I'll start my projection with the front view, and I have to project all visible edges here. And in the case of this part, we have all of these edges to project. I'll start with the side vertical edge here, because it's easy for me. So give the line command, and then try to snap to this point, either hit F3 or give the end command, click again on this one and click here. Now I have to give a line coordinate of 20 upward, so I'll activate my ortho F8. I'll give the 20, enter. Then I'll have to move like that 60, enter, then upwards of 20, and I'll have to come back where I started from and click and hit enter to finish the command. Now if I delete this rectangle, I will see the projection view of the front of this part. So click on this and tap delete on the keyboard, and you will find the projection of this front view of the part. My top view has all of these lines as part of the actual projection, so these need to be here in the final drawing, so I'll let them be. The only edge that I'm missing when I'm looking from top down is this edge here. So I noticed that there are 40 millimeters from the right, so I can either go from the right to the left 40 millimeters and then go upward like that, or I can come down from here and project the edge like that. So let me type in the line command and snap to this point here. Now disable my ortho, give the perpendicular command, so PER, enter, and go next to this horizontal line to find where it intersects with the rectangle and click. And now give the perpendicular command again, PER, enter, and click on the next line. And then tap the enter key. And this line we don't need anymore, so we can select it like that. And tap the delete key on the keyboard, and you got the projection of the top of this part. And to finish up the drawing, we need the third projection. And the third projection is similar to the top projection in the sense that we can get the missing edge from the main projection, the front view. So if you look from the side here, we have all of the lines of the rectangle that we already drew, and we are missing one edge, which is this one, and it's at 20 millimeters from the bottom. So either I can project from here like that, or I can go 20 from the bottom and then like that. So let me type in the line command, and snap to this point here, type the perpendicular command again, click, and once more, PER, enter, click, and enter. And I don't need this line anymore, so click on it and tap the delete key on the keyboard to finish the projection of the side view as well.